Okay, lovelies, just begin lying down, seated, you choose. Nice evening practice. I always like an evening one because it's kind of almost just like winding down for bed, getting us into that relaxed mode for a good night's sleep, a really restorative night's sleep. So just take a few moments, arrive in your space. And just notice how it does feel to practice in the evening. Quite often a lot of us do daytime classes, morning, but an evening practice can be it has such a different vibe. Just notice how this affects your subtle body energy. Maybe kind of your mental space as well. It might already be clearer. So just have a moment, root down. And we can put whatever has happened today outside, and this is our time, me time. How do you feel through your body? Are you still a bit tense? Are the muscles tired? Is the head tired? Just checking in with yourself. Have you treated yourself well today? What have you been saying to yourself mentally? No judgment, just observe your day, the physical parts of it and the mental parts of it. And come to the breath. Enjoy just following the inhale and exhale. Do you notice more of the front of the body move or the back? And so this evening we're going to do Tratak, candle gazing. So if you're already seated, that's fine. If you're lying down, just hug your knees in. Have a moment to rock. If you're seated, just maybe enjoying a couple of rolls of the shoulder, flex the spine. And then when you're ready, join me seated. And I'm going to use a little yoga block because ideally with Tratak, we kind of try and bring the candle up as high to eye level as we can. But obviously it has to be safe. So just a little candle so that we can gaze at the flame. This is always something that you can always kind of move off your mat, go and sit at a table and do it as well, if that kind of brings it more to eye level. If you have to pop it on the floor, then that is absolutely fine at all. It's just, what's ideal. So I'm going to pop the timer on for about 5 minutes for this practice. We gaze at the candle, at the heart of the candle, so not the top or the base. Gaze into the heart. Try to keep the eyes from blinking, but they will kind of get tired or maybe start to water. That's fine. Close the eyes. And then we'll gaze at kind of the image we get behind the eyelids. And then when you're ready, open the eyes again and start gazing. And we just go through this continual opening the eyes, close the eyes, open and close. It's very good for the health of our eyes, this. So just rest your hands and we'll start. Relax, gentle breaths. And try and relax your face. Just notice if your eyes stay centered or if they dart away now and then. And any time that you're ready, whenever you're ready, just close the eyes. Anytime you're ready, you can open them again. Closing whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, opening them. Perhaps noticing different colours around the flame, or whatever you notice. And then gently, when you're ready, just coming back from this practice, blinking your eyes open. Perhaps you can see that image still in your mind. It's like looking at the sun for a little while. You get that kind of blur. Notice how you feel I love Tratak. It's not something I do very often, but it's the sort of thing that I could actually sit with for far longer than 5 minutes. We did about 6 minutes then. It can become quite mesmerising, just sitting still and withdrawing the focus of sight and the sense of sight. So it's coming into dharana, which is one of the 8 limbs of yoga, which is the withdrawal of senses, and it merges into dhyana, which is meditation. So this covers sort of 2 of the limbs of yoga, which is really lovely. So I'm going to blow the candle out just for safety reasons, but if you can put yours sort of safely to one side, then please do. We're going to come into our first pose, Caesar. Not a pose I would often do, but it is a really quite a nice meditative pose. It is kneeling, so I'm going to give you options. If you can't kneel for whatever reason, because of issues with your knees or it's just really uncomfortable, come into butterfly. But if you can, just sort of turning sideways, because so you can just sort of see that it is simply kneeling, then you can come into this one. Sometimes it's nice to put a little bit of soft padding behind the knees if you want to, like a rolled blanket, just to loosen the compression. But otherwise, we probably won't take the whole 5 minutes, but we'll sit with Caesar. Just rest your hands on your thighs. Notice how your spine feels. And just come into a comfortable shape with your spine and close the eyes. We'll settle into this. It might feel really compressive to start with, but it will ease. But if you need to come out of it at any point, please do. Sometimes these yin poses can be challenging physically. But beyond the physical, maybe they can be quite challenging mentally as well. Relax the shoulders and soften the jaw. Notice if you're tense in the pelvis, lower back. Breathing to your belly. Notice if you're tight around your knees or whether you're feeling it more in your calf muscles, ankles, tops of the feet. Relax. Relaxing shoulders if they're a bit tense up towards the ears. And with one more breath, we'll come out of this one gently. There was about 3 minutes in this one, which is quite intense. I don't think we ever normally kind of day to day come into that kind of pose. We don't sit like that in that compression of legs. So just gently come out. Enjoy how it feels to really lengthen through the legs, stretch the knees, and we'll come down. Find our neutral pose. And really feeling the tingly sensation perhaps in the soles of the feet, around the toes. That's lovely for your stomach meridian, and stimulating the stomach energy. Notice what you feel. Relax your shoulders, the neck and your face. And especially because it's an evening practice, just surrender. Maybe you can still feel a little bit of sensation in your feet. We'll gently bring our knees in and enjoy a nice little hug here. Take the opportunity just to think about whether you've been kind to yourself today. And if you haven't, then a nice little self-hug always maybe does the trick. So we're going to roll up to seated. Come into caterpillar now. Taking the body forward. If you want something underneath, just to lift the legs, that's always an option. Otherwise, we're just going to walk the pads of the buttocks out and come forward. A nice little forward fold, and then we'll later on take the spine backwards. So relax. As you let your legs relax, they may want to rotate outwards. And starting to relax shoulders, head and neck. And just gently breathing. You can allow the shoulders just to round a little. We don't have to be rigid in the upper back. Breathing to your belly. Keep relaxing your upper arms and upper back. And just gently, if the pose becomes a little bit soft and easy, then just see if you can move a little bit more. Keep relaxing though. How do you feel in this pose this evening? Is it welcome? Just notice your thoughts and feelings. Coming into the stretch a bit more if the body allows. And just checking in with your breath. Breathing to your belly. And we'll take one more breath here. And enjoying how we lift up nice and slowly, feeling that lovely release that you get through the backs of the legs. And then gently coming down. Just enjoying how it feels through the body. How it feels to breathe. When we're forward like that, the breath can be a little bit compressed. So when we come back, it's easier. Nice full belly breaths. And again, just following whatever sensation you're feeling as it leaves. And just check in with that sensation that you're getting around your lower back. We've come forwards and we're going to come back now into bridge. So just when you're ready, bring your knees in, little hug. Take your time to roll on your back if you need to. A lot of us can have a little bit of tenderness in the lumbar. So when you're ready, coming up, just grabbing a little sofa cushion and literally to counterpose caterpillar, we're going to take our bodies back over into bench. A lovely pose that often I leave right to the end. It's so restful, but it's nice just to sort of bend one way and in the opposite direction. Just support the back of your head and neck if you need to. And relax. Relax buttocks, legs, soften into lower back. And enjoy opening them in the chest. You can follow your breath quite deeply here to belly, chest, up towards the head. And just noticing how you're feeling, whether you feel quite supported in this pose. Relaxing your wrists and hands, fingers. And is there any more areas through the head and neck that you can relax? Enjoy this lovely supportive pose, so restful. And just notice your thoughts, what's going through your mind. Have you noticed whether your breath has become nice and slow and deep? And so we'll take a lovely deep breath here. And then really slowly lift your head. Just come up a little way so we can pull the cushion out and then down again. That's probably one of my favourite poses, especially to really relax and just be supported and held. Breathing to your belly and just noticing whatever you feel after that very gentle posture. And then when you're ready, we'll draw the knees in. Take a moment again just to explore how the spine feels, having taken it forward and backwards. And then we're going to roll up to kneeling again. We're going to come into a pose called stick bug. And this is not a pose I would normally do, but we've done Caesar and been on our knees. So we're going to come back into this position. Not for the full length, but in yin, a lot of it is based around legs. And with stick bug, we're going to take the fingers to point towards our toes. And just gently kneeling. Again, you can have something behind your thighs, on your calves if you want to. Some people can get their arms really forward like that, but I can't. So mine are just coming back to the point where I can feel a very, very gentle sensation in the wrists. You could also, if you want to, use blocks and bring sort of the floor nearer to you. So that's actually quite nice. That's actually a little bit easier. We're we're just going for a very gentle stimulation on the inner parts of our arms, the yin channels, which are the heart and lung. If this is really uncomfortable for you and it's aggravating anything, don't do it. We can just come into neutral pose for longer. But just notice where you might be tense. You might find it quite unusual if you're tense around the calf muscles, perhaps even the thighs. And just deep breaths. Noticing what you're feeling about this pose, whether you can't decide whether you like it or not, whether it has a curious feeling but it's not entirely comfortable, perhaps. That's what's going through my mind. Tuning into your heart and your lung energy. Relaxing your legs if you can. If you want to take the blocks away just for a moment, if you're using them, then you can come back onto the mat. And then we'll take one more breath, having done just 3 minutes in that one. Come out of that slowly. You might want to just rotate your wrists a little. Again, not a normal position that we come into day to day. So noticing how that feels. Let's just lie back into neutral spine again and just feel what you feel. Is it around the inner part, the opposite side of the elbow, inner arm? Or is it the base of your palms that you feel? The inner part of your arms or wrists? Relax, just notice. And also you might feel like certain fingertips are tingly. Little finger. Keep relaxing. And then gently hugging in again. I'm going to need a strap for the next one for hammock. So if you've got a yoga strap, that's great. If you don't, then sometimes sort of a dressing gown cord tied up, anything that can kind of make a big loop. And again, not a pose that's normally taken in yoga, but it really is quite lovely. So we're going to just pop the strap around the right foot and then bring the strap around the back of the head, not the neck. It's above the neck. It's kind of curling round that occipital ridge, which is the base of the skull. And then you don't have to have your legs straight. Mine is bent, sort of a gentle bend. And then we can just explore this pose. The beauty of this one is that if you push into your foot, you can get a nice stretch through the back of the neck, as long as there's no issues there. And then if you really kind of let the head become heavy, then it accentuates the stretch through the back of the leg and the hamstring. And it's quite nice just to sort of play with both scenarios as we take the time in this pose. Try and relax your left leg. Relax the buttocks. And you can close your eyes. Take your time to explore either pushing with the foot or the head. Breathing gently. Really just check in with the back of the head and your neck if there's still tension there, because so often we hold it very unconsciously. How does this feel this evening? Restful, but with a deep stretch perhaps. If you want to, the other thing I quite like to do with this pose towards the end of the time in it is just unhook the head, and then we can just gently kind of play with holding the strap, straightening the leg and allowing it to lower a bit. We can take the leg wide, swing it higher up to the side, feeling that inner leg stretch. And if you like, you can bring it across the body. That doesn't always feel as comfortable with me, but you can explore how that feels. Outer thigh, hip. And just have a little play around with exploring what you're feeling. Notice what feels good, whether it's the inner thigh stretch when you swing the leg out wide, or whether it really is quite a deep hamstring stretch with the leg raised. And just a few more breaths here. And so when you're ready, you can just gently lower your leg down. If you want to just sort of swap feet, you can do. And we'll take a few moments just to feeling the difference between the right and the left leg, stimulation through the back of the leg, which is your bladder channel. Relax. Let everything be passive. What are you thinking? Just tune into your thoughts. And then when you're ready, let's explore how the other side feels. So the strap round the left foot, just popping it sort of around the ball of the foot, I prefer. And then again, round the head, but not the neck, base of the head, skull bone. And just let your foot become relaxed. Settling into this pose, again, either pushing with the foot to stretch the neck, or heavy with the head and feeling more through the back of the leg. This might feel really different this side. Everybody has a little bit of an imbalance sometimes with the tightness that they feel from left and right. Relaxing your shoulders, upper back, and just relaxing into this one. Closing your eyes if you haven't already done so. Following your breath. Are you relaxed through your right lower leg and buttocks? And just noticing how much of a stretch that you're in at the moment, whether you're sort of the top end of your threshold or the lower end. And then if you want to unhook the strap like we did with the other side and just have a little play around with the leg, you can do, or you, by all means, please, keep it round the head if that's actually where you want to be. And just really feeling into where you want to move your leg, where it may start to feel comfortable or uncomfortable. Noticing any differences as well between the sides, whether one is far more flexible than the other. Perhaps you get a bit of shaking in the leg as well, whatever you notice. So when you're ready, let's just take a breath. Gently lower your left leg down. Nice and slowly, we can just pop the strap to the side and come into a nice neutral pose and feel into it. What do you notice? Where do you notice it? Just feeling any tingling, coolness, warmth. And then just before we come into relaxation, it's quite nice to add in a breathing pranayama practice. So as we're lying down, we can come into ujjayi breath. So if you just gently tuck the chin in to the point where it kind of constricts the windpipe a little. And ujjayi is the breath that sounds like Darth Vader or like a snore. So I'll just begin. So if you can or want to, just join me with ujjayi. The breath becomes lengthened and drawn out, and it's very, very calming for the nervous system and has a lovely heating effect on the throat. So join me. And then when you're ready, you can just release ujjayi or carry on if you wish, entirely up to you. We're going to come into relaxation now for the last 10 minutes. So either remaining lying down, pull a blanket over, or I know sometimes some of you like to come to seated. Maybe pull a blanket around your shoulders if you want to. Whatever you want to do to get nice and cozy and comfortable. And drawn to picking a card this evening. What wisdom may we need? So and quite often I like to just sort of pick one without even looking, with my eyes closed, and just see what we're drawn to. Shanti. Let me read you a little bit more. So just relaxing back or seated, whatever suits you. And let's see what wisdom we've been given. Shanti, I am the angel of peace. I bring you new tranquility and a smoother road ahead. You have been through turmoil and your soul is tired. Your mind craves peace and quiet, and I am here to help you with that desire. I will give you new opportunities to spend time alone, where you can relax your mind and heart. I will bring tranquility to your soul so that you can mirror the peace of mind that is your true divine nature. Like the angels, you are able to hover within the eye of any hurricane that may swirl around you right now. Through breath and intention, you can stay centered no matter what is happening in your life. This inner foundation of peace has a wonderful healing effect. Your outer life soon reflects your inner peacefulness. Smooth roads are ahead for you, and the worst is behind you now. A peaceful outcome to this situation is assured. So just taking on that lovely little bit of boost, guidance, to be supported peacefully. Just take a few moments now just to sit with yourself. Peaceful thoughts. You can say in your mind, Shanti, 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 which is lovely to repeat. Peace, peace, peace. Just gently coming back from wherever you drifted off. Keeping your eyes closed still, just soaking up the last few moments of this real peaceful time. Just begin to breathe and feel the breath in the body. Inhale, a nice sigh on the exhale. And just feeling any last bit of tension leave. Feeling very calm, peaceful, centered, grounded. Looking forward to a really good night's sleep that's really deep and restorative. The type where you're vibrant the next day. So if you're lying down, you can just start to wiggle fingers and toes, or if you're seated, gently move. Bring back a very slow but conscious movement. And then if you are lying down, you can just hug knees in, have a little rock, and come to seated when you're ready. Still just taking a few lovely deep breaths. Perhaps feeling really quite connected to the self. And then when you come to seated, we can bring our hands to heart center. Om Shanti. Namaste.